Good morning. This is Kurt Bergland with another baseball book review every Monday at 10 a.m. I give you a baseball book review. Could be fiction, could be nonfiction, could be out of print, could be hot off the presses, or it could be somewhere in the middle. Today we have one that's somewhere in the middle. The book is nonfiction. It is Game 6. It is written by Mark Frost, and it is published by Hyperion Press, and the publication date is 2009. 2009, Game 6 by Mark Frost. I picked up this book for less than $10 at a local used bookseller. It is available online for right around that price, even less if you look in the right spot. It was a very popular book a little more than 10 years ago, and maybe you've read it. I hesitate to put this on my channel as a book review, but I think it's so good that even if you've read it, it's worth another read. The book is almost 400 pages long. It does have a section in the middle of pictures of the participants in the 1975 Game 6 that is probably rightfully placed on the short list of greatest Major League Baseball games ever played, and certainly most dramatic. There were several books produced, or have been several books produced about Game 6 of the 1975 World Series between the Red Sox and the Reds. I think this is the best one, and it's certainly the best one that I've read. The book does a wonderful job of diving into really all of the players that were involved in the game, and there were a lot of them, including wonderful information about the backstories of the players and the managers involved. There are two particular highlights in the book for me. The first is the way that the book goes into great detail talking about Sparky Anderson's managing approach going into Game 6, knowing that he had Don Gullett available for Game 7. Gary Nolan was his pitcher for Game 6, and just his approach to trying to win the game, understanding that the Reds were ahead 3-2, and that they had two chances to close out the Red Sox. It does a good job of sort of putting that strategy that he employed with his pitching staff and really with his bench as well, and putting that against the backdrop of his being a manager who at that time was criticized for not being able to win the big one. He was sort of the baseball's version of Minnesota Vikings head coach Bud Grant at the time. And so all of that pressure coming to bear on Sparky Anderson. The other part that I really appreciate about the book is that it builds drama throughout. So it tells about what's going on in the game, and then it dives into some biographical information about some of the players in a really interesting way, and then comes back to the game, and then it goes back to highlighting some players. One of the players that he writes very well about is Bernie Carbo, who, as you may know, certainly has had some demons in his life and was battling those demons even in Game 6. And the book does a nice job of that as well. There are statistics in the back of the book as an appendix for each team. It is not a sabermetric book. It does not dive into the statistics or try and make statistical points about the teams, but they are there for reference if you'd like to have them and don't want to look them up on Baseball Reference. There's also a very thorough index to the book in the back. And as I said, there are nearly 400 pages of text plus the section of black and white photos. My personal opinion is that this is the greatest baseball game that's ever been played. And when you combine drama and the stakes and everything that was leading into it, and the compelling nature of all of the principal players in the game, it's wonderful fodder for a book, and Mark Frost does an excellent job of it. And the best news of all is that the book is widely available and it's not expensive. So if you haven't read it lately, I encourage you to give it another look. If you have never bought it or don't own it, I really encourage you to pick this one up. The only way you get to be on my channel for a book review is if I like the book. If you don't see a book on my channel, it's because either I haven't gotten to it yet or I don't think it's worth your time. This one is definitely worth your time. Next Monday, I will be back with another book review. I thank you for being with me. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel. I need your subscriptions to keep my channel going, and I do appreciate it very much. Have a great Monday and a great week. So long, everybody.